Hello there, this is Jonathan Davis here at NAMM 2017. I'm with Music Group, and I'd just like to give you a quick overview of our new synthesizer, the DeepMind 12. Okay? So what we have here is we have a 12-voice polyphonic analog synthesizer with 2 LFOs per voice and 2 DCOs per voice. On the first DCO here we have a sawtooth and a square wave, as you can see, and we can also pulse width modulate the square wave. DCO2 is a square wave with slightly different method of modulation. We have a tone modulation, which folds in a slightly different way to the pitch modulation. We have 2 LFOs per voice, as I say, 7 different shapes, modulatable way into the audio rates. We can key track the LFO rate to go even faster, up to about 2K. Moving over here, we have the polyphony section. So as you can see now, we're in Unison 4, so that's 4 voices being triggered with each key press. We've got single poly mode, so as you can see from the lighting here. And we can switch this up, Unison 2, 3, 4, 6, and now 12. So with all 12 turned on and both oscillators, we've essentially got 24 voices sounding at once here. Moving now onto the filter section, we have a switchable 2-pole, 4-pole filter with frequency and resonance. Next to that we have the envelope for the filter, along with the LFO envelope and keyboard sensitivity. In the VCA section here we have a couple of really cool features. We have velocity sensitivity, and in particular we've got a very cool feature here is pan spread. So with pan spread set at maximum, as we have here, each of the voices will start to pan from left to right. So for example, first voice will be centre, second will pan a little to the left, third to the right, etc. until the 11th and 12th voices are fully hard pan left and right. We also have a high pass filter here with a bell curve boost at around 50 Hz, particularly useful for if you're pushing the resonance and you want to bring some of the bottom end back into your sound. Moving on to the envelope section here, we have voltage controlled amplitude, filter and a free modulation. Each of those sections has ADSR control. And another very cool feature of this is we've got curve control for each of the steps there. So as you can see, we can change the curve shape, get some really snappy filter response or really nice amplitude sessions, and that's available for the VCA, VCF and modulation. Now if you just have a look here at the envelope, the trigger modes, we have 5 different trigger modes. It can be triggered by key, so each key press will trigger the envelope. They can be driven by LFO 1, 2, they can loop around themselves, or they can be driven by our control sequencer. I'll briefly take it over to the arpeggiator section. We have chord, polychord, and an arpeggiator and control sequencer. The control sequencer can act as a modulation source, which can then control any of one of our 250 destinations. I'd just like to take you into the effects section next. We have 4 digital effects engines now, with around 30 effects hand-picked from Midas, Clark Technic, TC Electronics and the X32 mixing console, with 10 modes of operation, from serial as mode 1 to a series of different parallel processing modes, all the way through to 2 circular loops in the effects track. Finally, moving on, we've got the modulation matrix. We have 8 modulation slots. So as I say, currently we have about 35 sources, and depending on the effects, we have up to 250 destinations at present, but that will only increase as we add more effects into it. That's the DeepMind 12 synthesizer. We're here at NAMM. Thank you very much.